So there are variations that are really important. Some people think we should not talk about enlightenment at all, but should talk about enlightenments, plural, because there's a difference
Oh,
between some were clerical, some were anti-clerical, some were university-based, some were opposed to universities. Those differences matter. But if we want to make a kind of generalizable claim, I think we can say that what's interesting about the Enlightenment is that it's a pretty broad-based effort across a lot of the West to alter the sources of knowledge, to alter the way people think and get ideas. And that meant moving away from sort of received wisdom in many cases, what you'd always been told, what you'd always read, what you learned in church, or what you learned by going back to antiquity, and often in many cases, an effort to rethink where knowledge comes from, rooting it much more in the senses, in empirical understandings of things, more in reasoning based on those sense experiences, and a willing to challenge all kinds of different truths that had been established over the years. So I think that's really the commonality.
so I was going to ask you this, but I think I just figured it out. So that's why they also call the age of enlightenment the age of reason, because it's no longer just what you receive, whatever in seminaries or also in colleges, which also had a huge amount of religious teaching in them. It's also what you reason out through logic, and that's a whole conversation itself, right?
Right, but where the difference from someone like Descartes, who also thought humans should come to knowledge by challenging everything through a kind of skepticism and just using human reason, is that Enlightenment figures tended to think reasoning without a solid foundation in kind of sensory evidence, the things you know and see for yourself, could lead you astray. So thinking in a scholastic mode, like the Middle Ages, would lead you to sort of reason how many angels can dance on the head of a pin, is the famous example. In the
Yeah.
Enlightenment, one was more likely to say, let's start with something concrete that we can see about how people live or about the life as we experience it, and then reason based on that.